Peter Slipper says he's released cab charge receipts claiming they clear him of any wrongdoing. Speaking on 7:30 last night, the Workplace Relations Minister Bill Shorten says he's sure the police will investigate the documents.
I'm sure that what is produced will be examined by the relevant authorities. I do note that Mr Slipper asserts that these are fabrications. I'm not a handwriting expert. The authorities will sort this matter out once and for all. I'm sure this paperwork will be submitted to the relevant authorities. He continues to assert his innocence very strongly. He's also said that he intends to make a statement in the near future. I don't think there's any more I can add at this point.
Bill Shorten being very hesitant there on 7:30 last night. We're joined now by our political correspondent Melissa Clark from Canberra. Melissa, good morning to you. And as we go to air this morning, the question mark still hangs very heavily over whether Peter Slipper will actually ever return to the Speaker's chair.
It certainly does. Peter Slipper is taking every move he can to try to clear his name. What he's done is procure these cab charge documents that have been under investigation by the Department of Finance that are in question and release them. He says they show his side of the story, that they weren't blank cab charges, that they were quite clearly filled out in what he says is his handwriting. And therefore, he says that shows that the allegations against him, that he was handing out blank cab charges, are completely false fabrications, as he describes it. Now, there are indeed the 14 cab charges he's provided, and they show written details and filled out with signatures. Some of the descriptions of them are quite vague. Some of the cab charges say suburb to suburb, where you have to put in a drop-off and a pick-up location, so that could certainly doesn't give a great deal of detail with some of them, but the Finance Department has confirmed these are the cab charges they're looking at, although we understand the Australian Federal Police haven't seen them yet. But Peter Slipper has made it clear he thinks this shows that those criminal elements of the allegations against him, that is misusing cab charges, are false, which would certainly suggest he feels he's cleared the hurdle that he has set for himself in terms of returning back to the Speaker's position. At
the same time, the opposition and at least two of the critical independents are insisting that he should stay well away from the Speaker's chair until those sexual harassment allegations against him are also resolved.
And that's where the difference is, because Peter Slipper certainly believes that the criminal allegations are the ones that really needed to be passed and cleared over before returning, and hasn't made a great deal of mention other than to deny the civil allegations, that is the sexual harassment part. And with the Coalition and at least two crossbenchers making it very clear that they feel all of those allegations should be cleared from the air before he returns to the chair for the sake of the position. And the integrity of the position, it raises some question as to if Peter Slipper does insist on taking the chair, and at the moment he has the Prime Minister's backing to do that on Tuesday, is either the Coalition or the crossbench willing to move a motion against him and have that political fight on the floor, or will they let it rest and let him take the chair should he so choose when Parliament resumes on Tuesday? We've still got a little over a week for everyone to figure out what they're going to do.
Yeah, it's going to be a very critical week. The Prime Minister is maintaining her view that he should be allowed to go back to the chair while those civil allegations against him are unresolved. A position that put her at odds, albeit very briefly, yesterday afternoon with Bill Shorten.
This is quite peculiar, because we had Bill Shorten at one stage yesterday giving a little bit of a tougher line than some of the others from the government, particularly after some of the crossbenchers spoke out, talking about the seriousness of sexual harassment allegations and the need for the air to be cleared there. Yet then we had the Prime Minister, who of course is in Turkey at the moment, following up bilateral meetings and services at Gallipoli there, making it clear that she felt there was plenty of precedent in the Parliament for MPs with civil allegations against them still continuing in their roles, which sort of forced Bill Shorten back into line when he was questioned about it in a later interview. He had to concede he hadn't heard the Julia Gillard's comments, but whatever they were, he agreed with them, even not knowing what they are, which I think shows that the government is trying to have to keep all the ducks in line on this one.
Melissa Clark in Canberra, thanks very much.